In order to be remembered as a dream team, a club actually has to complete the ultimate goal.
What about the pieces that this team has added, Vince, in just the past few days?
Oh, dream team.
It has led to a 6-8 record and now eliminated from playoff contention.
These teams folded like pretzels and missed most of their chances to be remembered as a special champion. So with that, how about we dive into 10 NFL dream teams that failed to win the Super Bowl? 2007 New England Patriots. I mean, who else could we have started this list with? In the 2007 offseason, the Patriots acquired future Hall of Famer and wideout Randy Moss in a blockbuster trade with the Oakland Raiders. Bill Belichick also saw something special in Miami Dolphins wide receiver Wes Welker acquiring the crafty special teams weapon for 2 draft picks. As if Tom Brady wasn't tough enough to deal with, he now had 2 superstar pass catchers at his disposal. Sure enough, the Patriots were literally unbeatable for the first 18 games of the 2007 season. Brady threw 50 touchdown passes, a single-season record. Moss's 23 TD receptions were also a single-season record. New England's 589 points were also a single-season record for 6 whole years before getting smashed by the Denver Broncos. The Patriots rolled through the regular season, going a perfect 16-0 with very little adversity. But after dancing through all of the AFC bracket of the postseason, they finally met Eli Manning and the underdog New York Giants in Super Bowl 42. And, well, I think we all know what happened from here. The Giants' pass rush disrupted Brady and the Patriots' record-setting offense. Eli Manning and David Tyree hooked up for the helmet catch, and Plaxico Burress scored the game-winning touchdown with 35 ticks remaining. The Giants' D forced a turnover on downs to complete the upset, and those Dream Team Patriots went from the greatest team ever assembled to one of the biggest choke jobs in professional sports. 1998 Minnesota Vikings. After reaching the divisional round in 1997, the Vikings took their dominance to a historically good level in 1998. In the regular season, at least. Minnesota signed one of the greatest kickers of all time in Gary Anderson and struck gold by using the number 21st overall pick on future Hall of Famer and wide receiver Randy Moss. And the rest, as they say, is history. The 98 Vikings finished 15-1 and scored 556 points, the most ever in a single season until those 07 Patriots and 2013 Denver Broncos broke that mark. Minnesota looked poised to win its first Super Bowl in franchise history behind the unstoppable offensive trio of Moss, fellow Hall of Fame wideout Chris Carter, and dual-threat quarterback Randall Cunningham. But Vikings fans know all too well how this one ended. Anderson, who hadn't missed a kick or extra point all season long, missed a field goal that would have iced the NFC Championship game against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta drove down the field for the game-tying score, then won on a Morton Anderson field goal in overtime. An absolutely cruel twist of fate for a historic Vikings team that had destiny on their side until Anderson's imperfect miss. 2011 Philadelphia Eagles. Led by 2010 Comeback Player of the Year Michael Vick, the Eagles won their first NFC East Division crown in 4 years. After losing to the Green Bay Packers in the wildcard round, GM Howie Roseman decided to throw all of his poker chips into the middle of the table by going all in. The Eagles signed superstar cornerback Nnamdi Asomugha on free agency, then bolstered the front seven by signing Colin Jenkins and Jason Barrett. Philadelphia also signed former Pro Bowler and college QB legend Vince Young, who declared the 2011 Eagles as a dream team. And to think, this team already had Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and LaShawn McCoy in place. Having also drafted future Hall of Fame center Jason Kelsey in the 6th round, Philly was locked and loaded for a Super Bowl run. But, well, the Eagles sort of imploded after a magical 2010 resurgence from Vick. He battled against injuries and struggled to really regain his star-like form. Asomugha turned out to be one of the worst free agent signings in league history, too. So, the Eagles lost 8 of their first 12 games and only salvaged an 8-8 finish by winning their final 4 contests. Yeesh, so much for being a dream team, huh, Vince? 2018 Los Angeles Rams. The Rams came out of nowhere in 2017 to capture the NFC West Division crown, ending a 13-year playoff drought as Sean McVay went on to win Coach of the Year honors. In the offseason, GM Les Snead went all in by loading up on an already deep roster that featured Aaron Donald, Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp, and reigning Offensive Player of the Year Todd Gurley. GM Jim Lesney traded for New England star wide receiver Brandon Cooks and Kansas City Chiefs All-Pro cornerback Marcus Peters. He also signed 5-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh to form a terrorizing interior line duo with Donald. Unlike most other super teams, the 2018 Rams actually lived up to expectations. They finished 13-3 and boasted the NFL's second highest scoring offense, averaging 32.9 points per game. The Rams reached the Super Bowl after stunning the New Orleans Saints in the NFC title game, albeit thanks to the no call. But just when the Rams looked poised to win it all, they were stymied by the Bill Belichick and Tom Brady-led New England Patriots by a final score of 13-3. Belichick's masterful game plan left Goff confused all game long, and the Rams couldn't get their explosive ground game going. As such, it was the Pats who added a 6th and final Super Bowl of the Brady-Belichick era to their trophy room. Fortunately for Rams fans, the team would go on to win Super Bowl 56 3 years later inside their home venue no less. But, of course, the likes of Cooks, Suh, Peters, and Gurley were long gone by then. 2006 San Diego Chargers. The Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates-led Chargers are one of the great coulda, shoulda, woulda NFL stories. Not only did they fail to reach a single Super Bowl despite churning out an elite roster year in and year out, but the Bolts only got to the AFC title game once with this super duo. But among all those great Chargers teams that kept falling short, the 06 squad takes the cake as the real dream team that choked. The 06 Chargers had a league-leading 11 Pro Bowlers. LaDainian Tomlinson led the league's top-scoring offense and won MVP honors after tallying 28 touchdowns and 31 TDs from scrimmage, both single-season records. John Merriman's 17 sacks led the NFL. Only 6 teams allowed fewer points than Marty Schottenheimer's group. San Diego finished with football's best record at 14-2, needing just 2 victories at home to reach the Super Bowl. Their first obstacle was Tom Brady's Patriots, who came to Qualcomm Stadium in a divisional round showdown. Despite picking off Brady 3 times, however, the Chargers fell 24-21 and saw their season end in a thud. The usually reliable kicker, Nate Kading, missed a game-tying 54-yard attempt in the waning seconds. Because Chargers, of course. This is where that whole Chargers gonna Charger and classic Charger things started, folks. This right here. 1968 Baltimore Colts. If the Colts had emerged victorious in Super Bowl III, they would have a case as the greatest NFL team of all time. Yes, even better than the 1972 Miami Dolphins. How fitting, since Don Shula coached both those squads. Despite losing star quarterback Johnny Unitas in the preseason with an injury, the Colts offense didn't miss a beat. His understudy, Earl Morrall, won MVP honors after leading Baltimore to a league-best 13-1 record. The Baltimore finished with the #2 scoring offense and the league's best scoring D. They had a ridiculous 258-point differential. The Colts crushed the Minnesota Vikings and Cleveland Browns to win the 1968 NFL Championship, setting up a Super Bowl III clash with Joe Namath and the AFL champion New York Jets. Namath memorably guaranteed a Jets win, even though the Colts were a 18-point favorite. And sure enough, Namath made good on his promise, and he led the Jets to a shocking 16-7 victory, cementing himself as a New York sports icon, while also helping the 68 Colts cement themselves as arguably the greatest NFL dream team that failed to win the Super Bowl. 2000 Washington Commanders. Year 1 of the Dan Snyder ownership era did not go so bad in Washington. The team finished 10-6 in 1999 and nearly defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the divisional round, only losing 14-13 after a botched snap on a late go-ahead field goal attempt. The future was ultra bright in Washington, so Snyder opened up his wallet in free agency and let GM Vinny Serrato spend freely. Washington signed all-time sacks leader Bruce Smith, the GOAT of all corners in Deion Sanders, and 3-time Pro Bowl safety Mark Carrier, adding 2 more weapons in the secondary led by superstar corner Champ Bailey. But Smith, Primetime, and Carrier were all well past their best before dates. The latter 2 each only lasted 1 season in DC before retiring, though he would return to play for the Baltimore Ravens in 2004. Washington fired head coach Norv Turner despite sitting at 7-6 with 3 weeks to go. They lost 2 of their final 3 games under interim head coach Terry Robisky, finishing 8-8 to miss out on the postseason altogether. 2008 Dallas Cowboys. The Tony Romo and Terrell Owens-led Cowboys finished with a 13-3 record in 2007. That team also sent 13 players to the Pro Bowl, a single-season record that wouldn't be matched until the Baltimore Ravens hit that feat in 2019. And yet, the 2008 Cowboys were even deeper and better, at least on paper. Dallas was upset by the arch-rival Giants in the 2007 divisional round. Jerry Jones went all in by signing future Hall of Fame linebacker Zach Thomas and by trading for Tennessee Titans star return and corner Adam Pac-Man Jones. And before the 2008 trade deadline, the Cowboys further went all in by acquiring Detroit Lions star wideout Roy Williams for a package that included a first-round pick. So now Tony Romo had a three-headed receiving monster of T.O., Witten, and Williams. Even though Romo missed 3 games to injury, Dallas sat comfortably in a playoff spot at 8-4 with 4 games to go. But the wheels quickly came off in Big D, as Dallas dropped 3 of its final 4 games to finish 9-7 and miss out on the postseason altogether. That included a humiliating 44-6 road loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in a winner-go-home Week 17 contest. 2013 Denver Broncos. Led by 2012 Comeback Player of the Year Peyton Manning, the Broncos shocked everyone by finishing as the AFC's top seed with a 13-3 record. But after losing to the eventual Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round, John Elway decided that it was time to take a great team and build them into a dream team. The Broncos signed away longtime Patriot superstar wide receiver Wes Welker, star guard Luis Vasquez, Pro Bowlers and corner Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and linebacker Sean Phillips and hulking defensive tackle Terrence Knighton. The Broncos certainly did not disappoint. For the most part. Manning threw 55 touchdowns and 5,477 passing yards, both single-season records. The Broncos' 606 points also smashed the record set by the 07 Patriots. Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker both went over 1,000 yards receiving. Running back Noshawn Moreno had 1,586 yards of offense. Those 3, along with Welker and tight end Julius Thomas, each had double-digit scores. The Broncos ran through the AFC and reached Super Bowl 48, where they met the Legion of Boom-led Seattle Seahawks. The Broncos were a slight favorite in that game, but they forgot to show up in what was a very shocking 43-8 blowout loss. 1983 Washington Commanders. The Joe Gibbs-led Washington squad won 3 Super Bowls between 1982 to 1991, but amazingly, the real dream team was the 1983 squad that fell short of football's ultimate prize. Washington entered 1983 as the defending Super Bowl champs, having defeated the Miami Dolphins in the big game, but up until Super Bowl 18, this team looked unbeatable and poised for an easy repeat. Superstar QB Joe Theismann won MVP and Offensive Player of the Year honors. Washington's 541 points were for a single-season record at the time. Their 61 takeaways on defense marked the most in a season since the NFL-AFL merger, not to mention their ridiculous plus 43 turnover differential and 209-point differential. Loaded with Hall of Famers like Darryl Green, Art Monk, John Riggins, and Russ Grimm, the 83 team looked poised to cement themselves as the greatest NFL team ever. That was until Super Bowl 18. Gibbs' team napped through the entire contest in what would be an ugly 38-9 loss to the Los Angeles Raiders, who capitalized on 3 Washington turnovers in order to win the franchise's 3rd Super Bowl. At least Washington made up for it by winning 2 more Super Bowls to finally become a dynasty. But hey, which other NFL dream teams that didn't win the Super Bowl should we have included on our list? Let us know in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.